Ultimania. Every single morning I think God he made me sexy. I just called the fashion cops and dared them to arrest me. I just hit the blunt and blasted off like James and Jesse. I also have a dash of psilocybin in my Nestea. I mean, who don't love their greens with a little dressing? I'm the 1 through 5, I'm the king and the next best thing. Imagine waking up not wild in springtime, that's depressing. I feel the saltiness in every button that they pressing. Keep mashing help. I provoke the crash out of the century. My influence turned their brains into a penitentiary. I live up there. I ain't really shit nor am I visiting. Hold up, let me add insult to injury. They sick of me. Told them eat my dick up till they hiccupy. They sick of me. Bitterness a symptom of my victory. They sick of me. Probably do me good to learn some empathy. They sick of me. Fuck all that, at least it's good publicity. Whoa, folks, it looks like the Ahoy Sailors guy is a little mad. Yeah, you know what?
I am mad.
In fact,
What is going on, chat? We are once again blasting the Waldo springtime, and you know what that means. The Seattle Mariners have won a baseball game. And not only did they win a baseball game, but they won a baseball game without having to go to extra innings. In a normal way. It was a normal win. We didn't have to go to extras. We didn't have to, you know, waste a bunch of pitchers. Luis Castillo in this one was fantastic. A quality start for Luis Castillo. Ends up giving up technically 1 run because the runner that was on, that scored on Carlos Vargas was technically Luis Castillo's runner. So therefore that is his run. Good vibes, AB. Coach, I wish I could have been there tonight, man. It looked like a good time. You had the run scored earlier by Mr. Clutch himself, in Jorge Polanco, who has been so incredibly clutch for this team recently, especially during this 7-game stretch. And then the big home run from Mitch Garver, of all people. Mitch Garver. Off of a righty. I don't know who saw that coming. But, yeah, the fact that Mitch Garver off of a right-handed pitcher was the difference in this ball game is, I don't know. I didn't have that on my bingo card tonight. But what a performance from Luis again. What a performance from the bullpen in this one. Obviously, Luis goes 6. Carlos, you turn it over to Carlos Vargas, to Gabe Spire, and to Andres. Andres Munoz was fantastic tonight as well. I mean, man, just well, you couldn't have asked for a better night, specifically for bullpen usage. Matt Brash should be good to go tomorrow. I would assume that Andres is down again tomorrow because he's pitched 4 of 5. JP with the 5 gifted members, to Jack, to Resolute, to Shasta, to Hoof, and to Yobi. JP, absolute legend. We get a round of applause and some smooches, bros, in the chat for JP, especially if you guys just got a membership from JP. Yo, JP, it means a lot, man. Thank you. The vibes are strong. Listen, Mitch Garver, like, it's crazy to say, but Mitch Garver had a great night. Listen, he hit 2 balls at like 105 plus off the bat, and then he hit that home run. Mitch Garver had a great night. Just 2 of those didn't end up in a hit. Mikey with the 5 says, this team has been a welcome distraction. I've been hurting recently, but M's got good vibes only. Love the Mariners. Things what make sports great. Listen, Mike, hey man, first of all, I appreciate your 5. You know we love you, bro, and you know I'm sure this time of year is a hard year for you as well. So, bro, I just appreciate you, you know, being in here and sharing the good vibes with us, especially after a big Mariners win. So big smooches to you, bro. Shout out to Mike. In Etsy, we believe. In Etsy, we believe, chat. Yeah, Mitch Garver grounded out to shortstop at like 105 or something like that, and then grounded out to third at like 106. Yeah, I mean, just, he had a good game. It's almost like Mitch Garver is a good backup catcher. He's a good backup catcher if he didn't, you know, get paid $12 million a year. I would agree with you, Dorian, with the 25 months, by the way. Hey, Ems, you home merchants want to lose a game? Thanks. Hey, Black Mantis, who the hell is Zach Cole, by the way? Zach Cole. Nobody's ever heard of Zach Cole. All right, he's your number 19 prospect behind, what was it, like Will something and Caden Powell. Zach Cole is a creative player. He has 2 first names. All right, who the hell is Zach Cole? He's like the Messiah. All of a sudden, like, hello. Amazing game to watch. Had to mute the Apple TV announcers though. Did you guys know that you can actually change it to the radio broadcast for the Mariners? Like it's like on the, if you're looking at the screen, it's on the bottom right. You can change it to the radio broadcast. So I got to listen to Rick and Gary the whole time. So let the Etsy witch throw out the first pitch. Could you guys imagine? 12 mil, nothing to complain about, brother. There are much worse contracts. It's not hindering us that much. There are much worse contracts. And I agree, it's not hindering us that much. I don't know if there's much worse contracts for a backup catcher, though. I don't know if there's a backup catcher getting paid that much. Either Garver blows it or has some heroics. That's right. There's no in between with Mitch. But you know what? Hell of a game for him today. I mean, I honestly thought about having him be our smooches bro player of the game, but I decided to go with Luis just because of how gassed the bullpen was over the past, however many games at the bullpen. What did Rick say? They've worked like 31 scoreless innings or something like that over the past however many games. I don't know, but they've worked like 31 scoreless innings. It's insane to me. That is insane to me. Yeah, I mean, overall, that's a great, terrible contract, Dorian, for sure. Unfortunately today, as Rogelio was mentioning, the Rangers kept winning. They, somehow, some way, put up 6 in the first inning against the Mets, against Jonah Tong, who's been pretty good, and they had Jacob deGrom, on the bump in that one. So you had a feeling that was the Rangers game all the way after that. And the Astros absolutely walloped the Braves today. Off of Hurston Waldrop, by the way. So they I think it was an 11-2 victory. Is that right? Black Mantis? I think it was 11-2, but nonetheless, the Mariners kept pace today. The magic number, I saw someone asking, I believe for the wild card is at either 11 or 12, and the magic number for the division, I want to say, is at 14. I think. Is this another 3-way close finish for the 4th year? Possibly so. Yes, sir. The good news is, chat, as of right now, in the scenario of a 3-way tie, or in the scenario of a tie, the Mariners have the tiebreaker already over the Astros. And if they can win this, or I'm sorry, over the Rangers, and if they can win the series down in Houston, the Mariners would hold the tiebreaker over Houston as well. Magic number is 11 to clinch the playoffs. That's for the wild card. Got you. In the chip for fantasy, Tong and Waldrop did me dirty. Yeah, it was a rough one. I picked up Waldrop in a league, and that was a mistake. If we didn't have to play you all, and Texas is possible that the 3 ALS teams could get in, Boston looks like they're on the brink of sliding. Yeah, Boston is a team that when they traded Rafael Devers, I said there's no way, right? They traded their best player. It felt like that was going to be the turning point for them, but somehow, some way, they've turned it on. And they've had some injuries as well. $10 from JP, bro. JP, the absolute GOAT tonight. Naylor is him. What are our chances of keeping him around? JP, I appreciate that $10 holla. Give me just 1 second to finish my thought here. The Red Sox, I don't know, man. They've had their injuries. They've had some guys struggle recently, but nonetheless, Trevor Story's had a fantastic year. I mean, obviously, Garrett Crochet at the top of that rotation. They signed Walker Buehler. He was not what they expected him to be. The fact that the Yankees and the Red Sox are playing each other, I mean, if either they can beat up on each other or one guy beats up on, one team beats up on the other, which right now I think would be the Yankees beating up on the Red Sox, that's good for the Mariners. JP's question, yes, JP is the Smooches Bro player of the stream. So, talking about Josh Naylor, I don't know if you guys saw it today. Jerry DiPoto went on MLB Trade Rumors and the MLB Trade Rumors podcast. And talked about Josh Naylor and how the Mariners would love to keep him around. They have interest in re-signing him. They don't know if Josh is reinterested in signing here. I would assume that based on everything he said, he would definitely from everything that Josh has said, especially recently, he would be interested in re-signing with Seattle. But Jerry also mentioned that it's very hard, and understandably so. It's very hard to have those conversations with a player, especially in the middle of a playoff race. Because right now, Josh's attention, especially with how competitive he is going to be on winning every single night. He's not going to want to be talking contract. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the Mariners. Obviously, we would love for him to be able to sign an extension. That would just what if at the end of this homestand, right? He just as announced that he signed an extension. But Naylor would for sure take the meeting. Yeah, no matter what, the Mariners, I think, would have first crack at signing him. However, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much it's going to cost him. So, J.I. with the 11 months. J.I., appreciate that. Says, feel injury this year has been high all over MLB. I agree, honestly. I don't have the numbers to back it up, but it does feel like there have been a ton of injuries this year. All around, both to starting rotation, obviously to pitchers. We know kind of the epidemic of Tommy Johns that are going around right now. But even other, I feel like I've heard about more appendectomies this year than I have in my life. Maybe that's just because Trent Thornton had one and then Corey Seager had one, so two guys in the AL West. But we need a first baseman and none are in the minors. Exactly, which is why I think Josh Naylor, and I think most of you probably agree with this, is that Josh Naylor should be the Mariners' #1 priority this offseason. You don't have another first baseman in the system that makes sense to bring up. You don't, you could go out there and sign some guys, of course, but it is basically Josh Naylor and then everybody else. Kenny with the 5. Colton, explain the magic number to me like I'm 5. Also, what does the bullpen look like tomorrow? Santos coming back soon? I'm actually not sure. About Santos. I'd have to look into that. So chat, for those of you that don't know, the way the magic number works is, let's say it is basically the combination of however many wins the Mariners need with however many losses Team X needs. So for the Astros, for example, for the Mariners to guarantee that they win the division, I believe it's at 14. So any combination of any combination of Mariners wins and Astros losses that add up to 14 means the Mariners make the playoffs and win the division probably. And it's a lot harder to do with the wild card because obviously there's multiple teams that could be in it, but you just take the team that is the closest to you, which right now, of course, is the Rangers. And I think that number is 11 right now. There's 15 or 16 games left on the season. That number, I believe, is 11 right now. So any combination of Mariners wins and Rangers losses guarantees the Mariners a spot in the wild card as well. Like I said, it gets a little bit messier with the wild card, but that's kind of how it works. I'm not exactly sure what the exact numbers are right now, but I want to say it's 11 for the wild card. Might be 12, and then it's 14 for the division. Santos should be back soon. He's been on rehab for a week. Yeah, it's interesting. We talked yesterday after the game about who the Mariners would move today, because we said, hey, Luke Jackson threw a lot of pitches over the past couple of days. You're going to need to bring somebody up, and they did. They DFA'd Jose Castillo, so one of the lefties out of your pen, who was great yesterday, by the way, and they brought up Casey Legumina, a guy that can cover a couple of innings, and that's huge. Like, the fact that Legumina can cover multiple innings is huge for a team that has been hamstrung by short starts from their pitchers recently. I have to sneeze, chat. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, so it's like with Gregory Santos, he could come back and the Mariners could send down like Legumina. I think what it'll be is it'll be a situation like it'll be a situation like what we saw today, where the bullpen is maybe gassed. Bless you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat. Where the bullpen is gassed and you need to add an arm, and I think that Gregory Santos could be that guy, and whether that's sending Casey Legomita down, or maybe Emerson Hancock is struggling and you want to send him down. There's options, right? But we could see, somebody like Gregory Santos come up. Should have left the mic on? No. Bless you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat. Is there any chance the Mariners could have a bye? Probably not. Let me pull up MLB standings, because it is the top 2 division winners that get the bye, which right now are the Blue Jays and the Tigers. The Blue Jays are like 3.5 or 4 games up on the Mariners. They're 4 games up on the Mariners. I'm sorry, the Tigers are 4 games up on the Mariners, and the Blue Jays are, I think, 4.5. So you would have one of those teams would have to start losing, and you would have to continue to win. I would not bet on it. I would not bet on the fact that that the Mariners could get a bye, simply because I don't know if they can catch either of those 2 teams with how many games are left. With that being said, if the Mariners obviously if the Mariners win out, then sure. Then sure, the Mariners aren't going to win out. This winning streak is going to end at some point. Now, I did mention that this team is talented enough to go on a 7, 8, 9 game winning streak. They're at 7 right now. So it's, they did exactly what you needed them to do to keep themselves in this race. It's unfortunate that the Rangers are also winning at the same pace the Mariners are right now. They're like, 15-3 or 16-3 in their last 18 or 19 games. From Dre, $2 says Etsy Witch is the real MVP. Yeah, the Mariners Etsy Witch, man. I mean, whatever Steven did is insane. Whatever Steven did, whatever the Etsy Witch, whatever spell the Etsy Witch casts on this Mariners team, it's working. It's right. He's down in the Etsy Witch chat. Listen, okay, I'm sorry. All right, I just assumed that this team will lose again. All right. But you know what? Listen, I would never be happier to be wrong than if this team wins out. How many games do they have left? Hold on. So that's 148. So they have 14 games left, chat. 14 games. If the Mariners win the next 14 games, which will put them at 94 wins, by the way. If the Mariners win the next 14 games, I will shave my head and my beard. It would also be, the second longest winning streak in baseball history? Yeah, Scooble could be out. Yeah, Scooble, for those of you who didn't see, best pitcher in the American League. Hey, Autumn, what's up? Best pitcher in the American League, Scooble, came out with a left side injury of some kind. The good news was it wasn't his shoulder or his elbow. A left side injury of some kind. And he had to come out of the game. And I don't know what that means moving forward for the Tigers. Obviously, that's a big blow for them. I would prefer Tarek Skubal to be healthy, because the game is just better when he is... the game is just better when Tarek Skubal's on the mound. But that could bode well if the Mariners, he'd have, 2, maybe 3 starts left this year. That could potentially bode well if they Mariners want to catch the Tigers. So us Houston fans were expecting you all to sweep this weekend, to be honest. Versus the Angels. I mean, I don't know. Today was a rough one that I was a little bit worried about. Again, we talked about it before this homestand. It's a 7-game homestand. At a minimum, you needed to go 5-2 for it to be considered a good homestand. You're currently 5-0 with 2 games left on the homestand. So they did that already. They did that. They have secured a good homestand, which is obviously what you need at this juncture in the season. Get greedy. The Mariners need to get greedy. Win the next 2 games. I think that it's a possibility, and let me look at the probables again. I think that it's a possibility that the Mariners could win the next 2 games. You have Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow versus Mitch Ferris, and Mitch Ferris has been good in very limited outings so far. But Brian Wu, we know how good he's been, especially at home. The game I worry about the most is Sunday. It's George Kirby on the mound. We know that George has had a rough go of it recently. I mean, I don't know. It's Kyle Hendricks on the mound as well for the Angels. And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong here. Let me see if I can pull up his game logs. I want to say that he shoved versus Seattle earlier this year. Like I said, chat, he wasn't that great versus Seattle. Come on, guys. 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs in that one. Like I said, chat, he wasn't that good. Come on, guys. Come on. Santos needs 4 to 6 minor league appearances to consider activation, according to the Mariners. Logan Evans is expected to make a rehab start this week. Shout out Steamboat for the info. Shout out Steamboat. If you guys didn't see, the Astros have moved around their rotation. And did I take it? I think I retweeted it. Did I retweet it? The Astros have moved around their rotation. So you will now be facing Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, and I believe Tyler Alexander in that series for the Mariners. And on the bump for the Mariners. Oh, did I not retweet this? I thought I did. Maybe I just liked it. Dude, I don't remember. This is so embarrassing, chat. Please don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me, chat. Stop it. Well, anyway. They moved around their rotation. So, I don't know. Do with that as you will. But that means that... Oh, it was Switch that tweeted it, wasn't it? So, they're putting their best pitchers out there, which... I mean, duh, right? That they're putting their best pitchers out there. Your pitcher got reset today. Brown and Framber are both going to pitch versus the M's. Yeah, exactly. I believe Brian Wu will be on the mound for the Mariners in that series. Here we go. So you'll have Hunter Brown versus Brian Wu. Fantastic matchup. Brown has been their best pitcher. Fantastic matchup. The next day, you have Framber Valdez versus George Kirby. It's a scary start. That's truly a scary start because we know, kind of what George has been dealing with. And then did I say Tyler Alexander? Jason Alexander versus Logan Gilbert. So for the Mariners, they have Brian Wu, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. Against the Mariners, Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, and Jason Alexander. It's going to be, Wu tomorrow. It is going to be an absolute dogfight in that series. And the way things are going, it truly does feel like that. It truly does feel like that whatever happens in that series will decide what happens to both those teams the rest of the way. Tyler with the 5. Let's go, M's. Was that the game? Tyler, shout out to you. Hope you enjoyed the game, bro. $5 holla from Tyler. Smooches, bro. Smooches, bro, Tyler. Nervous about Kirby and Gilbert? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that I trust Kirby and Gilbert more than I trust Castillo on the road and Bryce Miller right now. But are the Astros facing Chris Sale this weekend? If not, they're sweeping Atlanta. I don't think they are, unfortunately. Let me go to Fangraphs Probables Grid. Oh, it's roster resource. Let's see. So the Astros on the mound. They have Hunter Brown tomorrow, Framber Valdez Sunday. Cool. Atlanta, Hurston Waldrop, Bryce Elder, Joey Wentz. Yeah, they're sweeping that series. The Astros are sweeping, for sure. It's happening. Unfortunate. Does Texas play Houston anymore or a wild card team? Yeah, so this series after this weekend, the Astros and Rangers square up for a 3-game series. And then immediately after that, it's the Astros and the Mariners. That 6 or 7 game stretch for the Astros. I mean, listen. This is the most important, and we've probably said this multiple times, but No moment during this season has been more important than this next week. Okay? Like, and Joe and I have talked about that on the podcast. We said this is like the most important homestand because you want to keep carrying the momentum going so you have that momentum going on this road trip. Now, I will say games versus the Royals have become a little bit less important. The Royals have kind of fallen off a little bit. But you still want to win those games because you still want to keep pace with the Astros either way, but they will be playing the Rangers. So someone has to win one of those games. So $4.99 from Critter over Yonder. This is on the light rail from the game. Been to 4 games to this. They've won them all. Critter, you got to go to every game on the light rail, bro. Shout out to you, Critter. Shout out to you. Black Mantis, I appreciate you being here, bro. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for stopping in. Thoughts on hitting the gritty and the Orange Justice if the Mariners clinch the playoffs again? They clinch it against Houston. Against Houston. I mean, that's the thing, chat. Is it's certainly possible that the Mariners clinch and it's certainly possible the Mariners clinch a playoff spot versus Houston. It's also just as possible that the Astros clinch a playoff spot in that series. It's possible they both clinch a playoff spot in that series, depending on what happens with the Rangers. If the Rangers start to struggle, right? Like, if the Rangers start to struggle, then there is a decent chance that the Mariners and Astros could both clinch in that time. Jason Z with the 5. The Astros also line up Brown and Valdez against us. Yep, so Brown versus Brian Wu. Framber Valdez versus George Kirby, and then Jason Alexander versus Logan Gilbert. That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be an absolutely insane series. Appreciate the 5, Jason. Do we keep playing Polanco over Young? Absolutely. Now, I don't think that Polanco is going to be your everyday second baseman, but I think that Young is the odd man out right now. Cole Young, and don't get me wrong, he's had a great season, but he's been incredible. He's been in a really bad slump as of recent. I think right now when there's a righty on the mound, you are putting Leo Rivas in at second base with Polanco DHing, and then versus like tonight, left-handed pitching, you put Polanco by the way, Jorge Polanco, you put him at second base like they did tonight. So that I think that Cole Young is currently the odd man out. Jorge Polanco, you know what? Everything that I said about him last year, put that chat back up on screen. Nah, man, takes up too much room. Jorge Polanco, everything we said about him last year, bro, I take it back, dude. Like, it was rough. It was rough for Polanco in 2024. How am I doing? I'm doing good, Lucario. How are you, bro? But this year, Jorge Polanco has put all that to rest, and I very, very much want Jorge Polanco back next year. I'm assuming he's going to I'm assuming that he is going to probably decline his option, which makes sense. He's going to be able to make more than $6 million on the open market. 226 watch, you guys, you've blown up so much this year. Temptazer, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. It's been a fun year. We've been trying to stream after every game. And you know, doing the best we can. So, but sometimes it doesn't always work out. But Polo has a mutual option next year, because he reached 450 plate appearances. That mutual option has converted into a player option, which means it's all on him. He can either accept or decline it, and he will more than likely decline that player option because it's only $6 million. Now, I don't think that that means that he is not willing to re-sign with the Mariners next year. I'm sure there's a number. I don't know what that number is. But it's definitely probably over 10 for sure. Ricky Bobby with the $4.99. Who is the odd man out for the playoff rosters? Garver or Cole Young? Can I be honest with you? I think it's Harry Ford. I think it might be Harry Ford. In the playoffs, you're probably going to have Cal catching nearly every single game. I think it's Harry Ford. And I don't love that idea because I do like having 3 catchers. But at the same time, with Cole Young, he's not playing. You know what I mean? He's not playing. So it's like, pick your poison. You know what I mean? I don't know what the right answer is. I think that it will be Harry Ford. But I'd be okay if it's Cole Young as well, unless Leo starts to slow down. If Leo starts to slow down, then obviously that kind of changes things. But as of right now, I would say either Cole Young or Harry Ford. But yeah, no, Harry Ford would be sent down for sure. I agree. Garver would be the backup catcher. Any chance we see Miles back? I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe. It's just he's been gone for so long. For the reason why Josh deserves to be in Seattle. Josh Naylor was in the clubhouse rocking one of the new Kraken jerseys before the game. Legend. Dude, he's a legend. Josh Naylor's the best, bro. Mitch Garver got a ring, bro. Boy, he knows what to do. True. Smooch's bro player of the game wasn't here. We did Luis Castillo, but it could also be Mitch Garver. Jacob with the 777. Yo, I like, Jacob, that you're going with a lucky number there because we need all the good karma we can get right now. Shout out to Jacob. He says, I only want to see Miller out of the pen if the playoffs and moving forward allows his stuff to play up. Yeah, I think that Josh Naylor, what am I saying? Bryce Miller will be moved to the pen. I read Josh Naylor on the screen. I think that he will be moved to the pen if and when the Mariners make the playoffs. You probably go Brian Wu, depending on if you're at home or not. You probably go Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, and Luis Castillo. Those are probably your main 3 in a 3-game series. Those are the 3 that you go with. And then I think that then you would have George in that in a longer series, George. But any updates on Bleav? Bleav is out for the year. He tore his meniscus on a play at second base. So yeah, he's done. He should be ready for spring training, but he is done for the year, which is incredibly unfortunate for Ryan after struggling to come back from that torn bicep. He comes back and then tears his meniscus. It just sucks. It truly sucks. But at the same time, I'm not sure what his role would have been on this team. I'm from Canada. All I hear about is the Blue Jays low-key preying on their downfall. Let's go, Ems. Let's go, Ems. Yeah, it was recent. So, Autumn, he tore his bicep at the beginning of the year with the Mariners. He came back, and then after playing on his rehab assignment, he tore his meniscus. So, what wild card do we need to get a home game, home field advantage in the playoffs? To get a wild card series home game, you either need to take the first spot in the wild card or you need to win the division. Again, more than likely, chat, the Mariners are going to be playing in, and now this can change, but they'll probably be playing in a wild card series, a 3-game wild card series. It's just whether or not you're going to be playing it at home or on the road. If you finish wild card 3 or 2, you are playing it on the road. Wild card 1 or AL West division winner, you are playing it at home unless you win the division and you overtake one of either the Tigers or the Blue Jays. Naylor entered the game in the 9th. Really okay. Yeah, Naylor coming in the 9th, I believe, was simply just for the defensive replacement. Naylor is the better defensive first baseman, in my opinion. And so I think that's all that was. I think when Naylor really hurts his shoulder is when he is swinging. $5 from JP. Dude, the song you featured the other night was Ty Dan Gonzalez. Yeah, bro. Check out Waldo Springtime on Spotify. Check out Waldo Springtime and listen to the Ultimania the Ultimania album. That's the one that we've been blasting every game when the Mariners win. So, can we get to 10 wins in a row? I would love that. I would love that. If the Mariners get to 10 in a row, that means they win, what, the next two, plus the first game versus the Royals. I'm in. I'm feeling good. We might win out. The power of friendship. Did you guys see, chat, today? There was an article that dropped about Josh Naylor and how, like, him and Tucker, the clubhouse dog, are like best friends. Like, it's so funny. Like, apparently before the game today, they said that Josh Naylor came in all giddy like and looking for Tucker, and he said or maybe not right now, but before they went on the last road trip, he came in all giddy saying that he needed to give Tucker some treats before they left for the road trip. Like, dude, Josh Naylor loves dogs. He loves dogs. So I do not want wild card number 2 and play the Yankees in a best of 3 on the road. Yeah, I truly think that your best option is to either win the division to obviously play a home series or take wild card 3. I don't necessarily want to play either the Red Sox or the Yankees, truthfully. But that's just my opinion. I mean, I think that if you have to play the Astros, and again, there's a chance, chat, that the Astros miss the playoffs entirely. That there's truly a chance that the Astros miss the playoffs entirely, simply because they have to play the Rangers and the Mariners the rest of the way. If the Rangers can beat up on the Astros and if the Mariners can beat up on the Astros, then there's a real chance that the Astros miss the playoffs. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. I don't think that the Astros miss the playoffs. It's for the Rangers to make the playoffs, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I think that it is. I think that it is possible. But yeah, Naylor generally loves the vibes here. He doesn't seem like the guy to give lip service. Made me feel hopeful. Yeah, he was saying like how when he's playing here and people are, the crowd is cheering and whatnot, that like the ground starts to shake. That is what he plays for. And he said he like can't say enough about the fans, about the atmosphere at T-Mobile Park, and about hitting at T-Mobile Park, believe it or not, which is why I think that he is the perfect fit for the Mariners this offseason. But chat, there will be no stream tomorrow. I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. So there'll be no stream after the game tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the Mariners can win that one. There will also be no stream after the game on Sunday unless Joe streams, because I have to work, and then we have to record the podcast right after. So this will be the last stream for a couple of days, but I am gonna get out of here. I appreciate the heck out of you guys for being here. Again, we had 230 plus people in here tonight at 10:30. I mean, just absolute legends, and everyone coming through with the donos and the gifted members and whatnot, and the remembers. It means a lot, truly, after having a fun weekend like we've had. But I appreciate you guys so much for being here, and we will be catching you guys again very, very soon. Fingers crossed the Mariners can keep this up, man. Let's keep this winning streak going. Good night.